Do you know those bullies who think they can bother everyone, but end up getting the worst of it? Well, we love to see justice being served, so they learn they can't just do whatever they want, and that's exactly what you're going to see here today. So go ahead and leave your like, click the button below to subscribe, and let's go. This case happened in front of the Royal Palace, where the famous Queen's Guards stand. These soldiers are known worldwide for keeping a serious, firm, and practically unshakable posture, even in front of curious tourists who try to get a reaction from them. But this time, the situation got out of the ordinary, as a man decided to provoke one of the guards. He went right up to the soldier, started dancing, making faces and gestures to try to irritate him, as if it were a joke. A tourist even tried to make him stop that, but it was no use. Only to everyone's surprise, the soldier's patience seemed to reach its limit.
Listen, he's doing his job. Don't be an idiot.
You can't do nothing.
In an unexpected moment, the guard simply struck the man's face, who fell backward immediately, ending the clowning around once and for all. Those watching were shocked, since it's not common to see these guards react like that. The case of Lance Hint became notable mainly because of bullying accusations that resurfaced decades later. In March of 2018, during a school board meeting of Katy ISD, the case of Lance Hint became notable mainly because of bullying accusations that resurfaced decades later. In March of 2018, during a school board meeting of Katy ISD, former student Gregory Gay gave an account that shocked everyone. He said that in the 1970s, when he was in high school, he was bullied by Hint, who would later become superintendent of the district. According to the man, his head was shoved inside a urinal, and lying on the floor, he was still kicked by other students. The bullying was so severe that he even thought about giving up on everything. The man stated that he decided to speak after more than 40 years because he wanted the district to take the fight against bullying seriously. However, Hint's reaction surprised and outraged many people. Upon hearing the accusation, he laughed and asked them to call the next speaker. The video went viral, and the case gained national repercussion. After that, other people also accused Hint of having been aggressive in the past, reinforcing the image of someone who practiced intimidation. The pressure kept mounting until he ended up resigning from the position in 2019. In the end, the story showed how marks of bullying can last a lifetime and how a simple reaction, like Hint's laugh at such a painful account, can turn an old case into a current scandal. This case happened in a social experiment that aimed to test people's reactions in the face of a bullying situation. In the video, 3 boys were instructed to approach a kid who was playing ball alone and try to take his ball, basically practicing bullying on purpose to see how nearby adults or people would react.
Yes, ma'am?
Hi. Hi. Is he your brother? No. Do you know these boys?
What drew attention was that on 2 occasions, the boys' plan was interrupted. First, a woman who was there noticed the situation and intervened, preventing the boys from continuing to bother the kid. In the second attempt of the test, a man also saw the scene and acted the same way, ensuring the boy could keep playing without being intimidated. The experiment ended up showing that people are still willing to protect others, showing that it's not acceptable to look the other way in the face of behavior like this. A curious case happened in Cornwall in England, when a farmer decided to give a message to a driver who parked his Mercedes in his field to go to the beach. During a very busy weekend in the region, the farmer, who was working with his tractor and slurry tank, noticed the car parked illegally on his property. Instead of just complaining, he decided to act drastically. He drove the tractor toward the car and dumped the slurry from the tank directly onto the Mercedes. The farmer, who was accompanied by a child in the cab, even joked that he hoped the man would enjoy washing the car as much as he was enjoying getting the vehicle dirty. The episode ended up dividing opinions. Some people defended the farmer's attitude, claiming that parking on private property is irresponsible, while others criticized the action as irresponsible and cruel. One of the tensest moments in culinary television involved none other than Gordon Ramsay, the British chef known worldwide for his explosive temper and for hosting shows like Hell's Kitchen, MasterChef, and Kitchen Nightmares. Ramsay is famous for his sharp tongue, shouting, and merciless criticism of chefs and cooks he considers below standard, and because of that, usually no one dares to confront him head on. But there was a memorable episode in which he came across a chef who wasn't intimidated. During the recording of one of the shows, Gordon began scolding a participant for supposed mistakes in the kitchen, as he often does. However, this chef decided not to swallow his pride and answered in kind, defending his choices and his style of cooking.
Hey?
Go on.
Yeah?
Finish it then.
Finish what?
What are you about to say?
What am I about to say?
Cook a mussel.
No, I haven't cooked one.
Right.
The tension quickly escalated, and what would normally be a common scolding turned into a real shouting match. As the saying goes, a remedy for a madman is another madman and a half. In other words, it's always better to act with politeness and respect to avoid this kind of situation. A Gull flight between Sao Paulo, Brazil and Recife, Brazil turned into real chaos on August 14th of 2022. A passenger, apparently drunk, started breaking the airplane seats and had to be restrained by both the crew and the federal police. According to reports, the guy was unconscious, and the crew thought he had fainted. A doctor administered glucose into his vein to wake him up, but then the man woke up agitated and started kicking the seats hard. Imagine the fright of the other passengers. Some people even filmed the scene, while flight attendants tried to move the pieces of seats away so no one would get hurt. The federal police said that the 34-year-old man was caught committing qualified damage and endangering flight safety. He disembarked through the rear door, accompanied by the agents, and was later released after a custody hearing. Gull said that all measures were taken with everyone's safety in mind, but did not comment on the losses or whether there will be any lawsuit. And in another video, the passenger himself complained that the medication was administered to him without warning, showing he was not happy with the situation at all. A bully decided to enter a store thinking he was going to show who was in charge. He seemed confident. His target was a man behind the counter, but the bully didn't count on the reaction of the one who was supposed to be the victim and of one more customer who was there. As soon as he started to approach and throw provocations, the man was not intimidated, and soon after another person came to help and put the bully out. Soon the funny guy ended up taking a few lessons. He tried to fight back, but ended up backing off in the face of the two who came at him and were not willing to let him continue with the nonsense. The atmosphere inside the store got tense for a few minutes, but the situation was controlled without anyone getting seriously hurt. In the end, the bully ended up leaving the store defeated and unable to impose any fear. A content creator decided to pull one of those not funny pranks in a supermarket, but this time the joke got completely out of control. He decided to put something on an old man who was shopping, thinking it would be just another video to post on social media. The problem is that the old man didn't find it funny at all and reacted immediately, showing he was not willing to be the target of jokes. The old man, visibly irritated, started confronting the content creator firmly, and at a certain point even made threats, making it clear he would not accept that in any way. The atmosphere in the supermarket got quite tense. Realizing that the situation was completely getting out of hand and could end badly, the content creator decided to end the fuss and leave the place. The situation served as a reminder that not every prank is welcome, and that some jokes can easily irritate people. An unusual case happened in a small town, showing that not every criminal is lucky in choosing his victim. Aaron Jacobs, a gas station employee, was working normally behind the counter of the convenience store when two men entered. One of them asked for beer, but soon started behaving strangely, approaching Jacobs suspiciously. That's when the employee realized there was a 12-inch knife pointed at him. But the robbery ended up being a big mistake for the thief. Aaron Jacobs is not just anyone. He is a former combat instructor of the Marine Corps and a black belt in karate, with more than 25 years of experience in martial arts. When the robber tried to advance, Jacobs managed to disarm him and even apply a submission technique to restrain him. During the scuffle, Jacob's biggest concern was the mess in the store. The cigar display was knocked over and the snack shelf was scattered on the floor. Despite the scare, he considers the episode an isolated incident and hopes this is not the beginning of a series of crimes in the neighborhood, which is usually quiet. This case happened on a beach and ended up drawing a lot of attention on social media. It all started when two women met on the stairs that lead to the sand. One of them decided to square up to the other, trying to show she was tougher and would not back down from the situation. Only the answer was nothing like what she expected. The other woman proved to be even braver and did not let it slide. The atmosphere heated up quickly, and the two started fighting right there in front of everyone with shoving and a real free-for-all. People nearby tried to intervene, but only after some effort did they manage to separate the two and end the confusion. In the end, no one was seriously injured, but the episode made it clear how a provoking attitude can end up generating an unexpected confrontation. A robber entered a jewelry store in downtown Caraguatatuba in the state of Sao Paulo, Brazil, intending to leave loaded with money and jewels. He held the clerk at gunpoint, took what he wanted, and put everything into a backpack, thinking he could escape without problems. But he didn't count on the presence of an unlikely hero passing by, a jiu-jitsu fighter who was alert and did not hesitate to act. When the robber tried to run out, the man in the green t-shirt noticed the movement and stepped in front of him. In a quick, precise move, he grabbed the fugitive, applied an arm lock, and threw him onto the sidewalk, immobilizing him on the spot. Other people nearby helped to restrain the thief and recovered the backpack with the money and the jewels he had taken. Soon after, municipal civil guards arrived at the scene and took over, arresting the robber and taking him to the police station. A machete he was carrying was also seized. Despite all the commotion, no one was seriously injured, and the stolen items were returned to the jewelry store. What really drew attention was the jiu-jitsu fighter's courage and quickness. He showed that, even in an unexpected situation, it's possible to act with technique and control, preventing the crime from happening and ensuring the safety of the people around. This case is a real school drama that ended up in court. It all started with a conflict between two 7th grade girls who already had a history of small provocations and bullying. According to the mother of one of them, her daughter had been bothered and heard things like ugly clothes and other provocations for months. The critical point happened near the school lockers. The situation escalated and the daughter of the woman who filed the complaint ended up being attacked by the other girl. She had to be taken to the doctor and filed a police report. The family decided to sue, asking for about $70,000, including medical expenses and suffering. On the other side, the accused girl's mother explained that her daughter had also been provoked and that the assault episode lasted only a few seconds. A reaction to months of bullying, not a premeditated attack. After the incident, the girls even reconciled at school, but the lawsuit continued. Cases like this may even seem trivial for a court, but in the United States, the culture of bullying is very strong, constantly turning into physical aggression and leaving lifelong damage for many people. In the end, the judge analyzed the case and made it clear that the child's behavior was totally wrong, and the responsibility fell on the daughter, not on the parents. He ruled that the girl should pay for the damages, including medical costs, but that the mother was not at fault. The court also encouraged the girls to apologize to each other, to try to end the conflict in a healthier way. This case is hard to believe what the family said. It all happened inside a store, when an 18-year-old youngster, Adric White, was trying to rob the place. According to witnesses, he already had a history of thefts, and this time was pointing a gun at the employees, putting everyone in extreme danger. A customer who was just shopping saw the scene and decided to act. He drew his own gun and fired 5 times before Adric could aim at him. The customer later explained that he didn't want to shoot, but when he saw the suspect turn quickly with the gun, he realized his own life could be in danger and reacted instinctively. The police confirmed that the action was completely within the law. Meanwhile, Adric's family was outraged by the situation, saying he didn't deserve to be shot and that the customer shouldn't have gotten involved. They stated that if no one had pointed a gun at him, there would have been no reason to shoot. Other relatives commented that Adric was getting involved with the wrong people and needed help, but also expressed frustration with the outcome of the episode. The criminal, even though he failed to carry out the robbery this time, faced serious charges. The prosecution asked that his bail be revoked and that he be kept in jail while he answers for the crimes, including this last robbery, which apparently followed the same pattern as the previous one. This case is one of those that seems like a movie scene, but it really happened in La Crosse, Washington. A 25-year-old man named Sean Lee tried to deceive the good faith of a 69-year-old man, Larry Garrett, and ended up doing very badly. The story began when Lee showed up at Garrett's house saying he was coming from Seattle, that his wife was about to have a baby, and that he was out of gas. Generously, Garrett paid for the fuel and even prepared a plate of food for him, but while Larry was eating, Lee took his wallet and ran off. The thief even tried to flee by car, but didn't count on Garrett's family being nearby. Larry's cousin named Lowell sprang into action, along with other relatives, and they managed to bring Lee down to the ground. After that, they restrained him, tying his hands and feet with plastic ties, leaving him right in the middle of the street until the police arrived, which took about 20 minutes. The police, of course, warned that they do not encourage people to go around chasing criminals, but admitted that in that case, it worked. In the end, the thief learned the hard way that you shouldn't mess with someone who tries to be generous. The episode became a story in the town and shows how, sometimes, the courage and a bit of improvisation from ordinary people can stop a crime. Although the official lesson is, it's better not to react and let the authorities take care of everything. Don't forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.